All this meeting in order of Topsham Select Board. It is February 19, 2026, and we're in the Donald A. Russell Meeting Room. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was going to say that.
Patty, will you call the roll, please?
I will. Nice to see you, gentlemen. Roland Tufts.
Here.
Ann Callahan.
Present.
Ryan Holmes.
I am here.
David Kenny.
I'm here.
Mike Labby.
I'm right here.
All present, and we even have our town manager at the head table, Mark Waltz.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next up, town manager's report.
Would you like to save money in your property taxes? Check out the town's page in the March crier for information on exemptions you can apply for, homestead, veterans, etc. The due date for applications, April 1st, 2026. If you've already had an exemption, you don't need to reapply each year. On Wednesday, February 25th, a couple of our town committees have forums to collect and/or share information. The Bike Pedestrian Committee is hosting a forum at the library starting at 3 p.m., goes to 5:30 p.m. You don't have to be there for the whole time. You can drop in and have pizza with the chief. They're collecting information related to the Safe Streets Plan and get your ideas of areas you might like to see traffic improvements. And then at 6:30 p.m., the Energy Committee will host a forum in this room. It will also be on Zoom if you'd rather watch it from home and participate from there. It's going to provide information both on home and grid scale battery storage. It'll include Andrew Carl of Revision Energy. We'll talk about use of batteries at home as backup power. And Kurt Mayland of the Vermont Law and Graduate School Energy Clinic, who's going to talk about grid scale facilities and their regulation as our Energy Committee works to come up with some proposed changes to zoning code to allow a potential grid scale battery storage facility. Finally, Topsham Public Works has an opening currently, and we'll have another in April due to a retirement. If you have a Class B license or are willing to earn one, and you're looking for a job that has a lot of variety and makes a difference to the lives of Topsham residents, please contact us. That's it.
Very good, thank you. Any questions? Okay. Public comment, do we have any? Nothing, okay, thank you.
Somebody else there.
Oh, excuse me.
The board committees, Lauren.
Yeah, go on up, please.
My name is Tony, I'm a member of the school board, and I just wanted to come and support Catherine, and I'm hoping to pick her. I've known her for about 10 years. Oh, sorry. I've known her for about 10 years. We have worked together in child welfare. I left the state, now work for the Department of Labor, and I think that she's a good character and a reputable person.
Great, thank you. Anything else?
Susan Ray Reeves, 14 Twin Pond Road. I'm another one of the same. I don't know Catherine Grown well, but I know Tony well, and Tony's opinion of Catherine is stellar. What I do know about her personally is that she she's a graduate of Mount Ararat, so she supports our public schools, and she has 3 children, the youngest of whom just graduated. And the thing that I think is so wonderful is that she's been thinking for years about wanting to be on the school board, but the time didn't seem right. So with the youngest just graduated, it feels completely right to her. And I just think it's great that we have 2 applicants. That's always exciting, but I'm here to support Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, next up, correspondence. Did anyone receive anything? Nothing, okay. We have no adjustments to the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, skipped right over that. Sorry, Chief. Sorry, Lucas. Next up, we have board and committee reports, and Chief Hagan will be here to recognize an officer.
Good evening, Mark Hagan, Chief of Police, and we just wanted to take a couple of minutes of your time tonight to recognize Officer Lucas Sherlin. Lucas, why don't you come on up here? Both of us will stand up here. So On October 10th, Officer Sherland here was called out to the Mayor Meeting Bridge at about 6:15 that night for a report. A passerby had seen somebody sitting on the bridge that looked despondent, looking down off the bridge into the river. And Officer Sherland was dispatched. He showed up a few minutes later to find that, in fact, an elderly woman was sitting on the bridge with her feet and legs hanging off the edge. And he was able to get out, get kind of close to her and start talking to her, and suddenly drew himself close to her while he, was trying to build a rapport and after a couple of questions. And at the last moment, she started to shimmy closer to the edge. And Officer Sherland was at that point close enough to where he could immediately reach out and grab her in a bear hug and pulled her down off the railing and to safety. There was a 75-year-old woman that ended up telling Officer Sherland that she'd been living with depression and had gone to the local hospital earlier in the day seeking some assistance. For whatever reason, she didn't feel that she received what was appropriate. And when she left, she decided that she was going to take her own life and went out to the bridge. So, in short, Officer Sherland's ability to immediately build a rapport with her, calm voice, if you can see the video, or if you have seen the video, very impressive the way he was able to talk to her, keep calm, and get close enough to make a life-saving grab. So, we don't get those opportunities, and we don't have that happen where we're close enough to make this happen. So we just wanted to recognize Officer Sherland for his work that evening. He's also been nominated for the Maine Chiefs of Police Life Saving Award.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the job.
Great job again. Thank you. All right.
Why change it?
So,
Oh, no, our agendas weren't right on the things.
The
Oh.
current agenda was not on the tablets, so
oh, I
we're
see.
switching them individually.
All right. All right, next up, excuse me, consent calendar, approval of the minutes of the regular select board meeting, February 5th, 2026. Do I have a motion? I'll make a motion. Second.
It was
Moved by Mike. Do we have a second?
second.
Seconded by Ryan. All in favor? Thank you. Next up, unfinished business, consideration on 2610. Consideration of any appropriate action to allow the town to round cash transactions to the next 5-cent increment once the town can no longer offer change to cash transactions in pennies.
And Kathy,
Just to give you some background, you all know that there's no more pennies being printed or stamped. The town collects approximately $500,000 each year in cash, and it amounts to about 2,400 individual transactions. So, if you apply math to it, the most we could be out would be about $96. But it will cause some problems. But right now, I just checked with them today in the front office because we were scrambling for pennies and I brought in my pennies and a couple other people brought in their pennies and changed them out. And we can't have the entire cash drawers be pennies, so we're feeding them in as the need arises. The bank will take your pennies, but it won't provide you pennies for your cash drawer anymore. And so it's not too critical, but it may come up during our next tax billing, which is coming right up. So we mulled it over. Mark went to the actually in your townsman that you get, they don't call it the townsman anymore, what do they call it? The magazine from MMA.
Yeah.
City and Towns or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had a write-up about pennies and what to consider with your cash policy. And so Mark went to the attorney's office, Ryan.
Bazanik,
What?
Bazanik.
Bazanik of Bernstein Shore, and he came up with a policy for us to use. Basically, the things that the article had pointed out were that, like a hunting license, those are all round dollars, the fee is a round dollar. So some transactions are completely like, there's not gonna be an issue with. The, electronic payments and checks, no problem. But we do have, state law says that rounding is not permitted for statutory fees, and those include property, excise, lien fees, interest, and state set fees, which, vital records and IFW, they're all rounded. So the rounding only applies to locally, well, other taxes, and I think this policy would cover that, is that we could just ask them, do you mind if we don't have the change, we just apply it to you next year, which people do it all the time. All the time, people are, you know, they write their tax bill, you write it for a penny more or a nickel more or a dime more. And our policy has always been to just round it, just roll it to the next year, apply it to next year's bill. But what he's telling us here he's giving us a policy to use about, you know, it's like 4 cents down, 6 cents up.
Are you talking about the symmetrical rounding method?
Yes.
Yes, it's really lots of fun.
So
If it ends in 1, 2, 6, 7, you round down. If it ends in 3, 4, 8, 9, you round up, and the final digit 0 or 5 is no change.
right.
Wow.
So, yeah. It does cause a bit of a problem when you have to enter those transactions, because we're gonna have to have an overinsured account, so we're gonna add one more transaction to the bill. But anyway, so this outlines what we're gonna do. And as it's not sure whether state law will change. I kind of suspect it will, because what would be the point of having this problem ad nauseum? I think they'll adjust their software so that excise is rounded and the sales tax is rounded, so we don't have to do it on our end, they'll do it on their end. I think ultimately that would be the best solution. But the policy here that's drafted says that we'll review it every 6 months just to see what's changed. And then when it actually becomes an issue, we can come back and I can tell you how it's going. So we're asking to adopt the Town of Topsham penny discontinuation and cash rounding policy as drafted.
Very informative. Thank you for all the details.
You didn't even know you wanted that much detail.
How much extra work does this add? Was it 2,400 transactions?
But you'll have to add a line to every transaction that falls that way. Because.
I mean, for your back end work, does this add a little bit more complexity to the audit system of the town at the end of the year?
At the end of the year, no, because we'll do it on a transaction by transaction basis, so you figure there's gonna be, you know, if you want, it'll be 2,100. It doesn't mean that somebody pays in cash, they're not gonna pay the exact amount either, so. You just don't really know, you know, just gonna have to, but we'll get some real world data and see where we wanna go from there, but we don't really. I talked to Amanda today and she said that as you know, as they lower, people bringing in their pennies from home, and she felt that we'd probably be good through the end of the year. And then when we start seeing things and what people that pay in cash will, you know, are they gonna bring us the right amount, or are they, you know what I mean? Knowing that they're paying in cash, will they pony up and bring the exact change?
Do we know if the state of Maine has started considering statutory changes where if pennies aren't being made and not being circulated, what's the point of 1, 2, 3, and 4? Are they, you know, sales tax is calculated at a 5.5% rate? I don't think you can avoid 1, 2s, 3s, or 4s.
Based on the best information from the attorneys and MMA, so far, the state hasn't come up with anything. So, but as Kathy said, we expect that they probably will in the next year or something.
And the federal government has said that pennies remain legal tender. If they change that definition, then that would force,
Yeah.
that would force the states to not produce bills that were not in compliance with.
We leave a penny jar on the counters.
Huh?
We need to take up a collection for a penny jar on the counter in the clerk's office, so people just go get what pennies they need.
I don't know, they might be, I don't know. Jeff's gonna start saving his pennies in hopes that the value of the pennies goes up so high, he's gonna cash in on it, so.
We gotta get those leave a penny, take a penny things,
Oh,
and
that's-
scratch off, take a penny.
Yeah.
Leave a penny.
Thank you, Kathy. I make a motion to adopt the Town of Topsham penny discontinuation and cash rounding policy as drafted.
Second,
Moved and seconded, all in favor? It'll be good practice. I don't think the nickel's far behind, so.
that's
All right, on to new business.
yeah, that's my.
We have 2615, consideration of any appropriate action to appoint Glenn R. Gordon as Topsham Police Chief pursuant to 30A MRSA Section 3153.
Fire chief.
Oh, fire. Why I have these, sorry. You didn't know you were gonna 2-for-1 deal.
Hadn't you told me you were concerned about the performance of the chief, police?
Yeah. What does that say about your occupation?
All right, I owe you one. Let me read this again.
Yes, sir.
2615, consideration of any appropriate action. Sorry. To appoint Glenn R. Gordon as Topsham Fire Chief pursuant to 30A MRSA Section 3153 and Emergency Management Director pursuant to Section 14.4 of the Town of Topsham Code of Ordinances.
So as you know, we put out an application process to replace our fire chief position. And we got 13 applications and we interviewed 4 with a panel that included a fire chief from another part of the state, as well as a Topsham resident, and then the assistant town manager, myself, and Deputy Chief St. Pierre. And then we had second interviews of 3 of the candidates. And we enthusiastically recommend that Glenn R. Gordon, who is a 15-year veteran of the Portland Fire Department and is anxious to move to this area and be our fire chief, be our next fire chief and emergency management director. And Glenn is here tonight with his wife Megan. And if you choose to appoint him, we would then invite him and Megan up, and Megan could present him with his badge. So
That'd be awesome.
Excellent. The motion.
I think most will put him.
I do.
Are you ready? Go for it.
Okay.
Where you at?
Yeah.
Excuse me, who made the motion?
It's being made now.
Make it now.
it's
I got
Mike.
a new one here.
Mike,
Move the point, Glenn R. Gordon, Topsham Fire Chief, pursuant to 30A, SR 3153, and Emergency Management Director pursuant to Section 14-4 of the Topsham Town Code of Ordinance.
second.
I did second.
we second that.
Seconded by Ann.
Seconded by Ann. Yeah. I'm
Okay, all in favor? Motion carries. Congratulations.
all right,
Welcome.
so
very excited.
Get that man a scanner.
You don't want to stand that one. Don't want to get awkward.
Too late.
Thank you.
thank you very much. We've been teasing Chief Gordon. We've been teasing Chief Gordon that he had a long speech to give, but in reality, we didn't put him up to make him give one.
And just say welcome aboard.
We just say welcome aboard.
All right,
Thank you for coming.
2616, consideration of any appropriate action to accept a donation of items from Almost Famous Tattoo to the fire department.
This is when the chief gets his Topsham tattoo, right?
Yeah.
That's
That badge number, yeah. Straight into the air.
We recently received a donation of goods from, the gentleman, Aaron Cart from Almost Famous Tattoo. The total value of it is $1,160. I wanted to send him a thank you letter, and accept donations for this. Thank you, permission. Should be able to utilize all pieces of his donation, even the expired birthday kits, we'll use those for training.
great. Have a motion?
Do we know when he donated?
Yeah, it's in the.
Yeah, it's over here, so I'm sorry, he donated a lifeguard rescue can, that's like your watch. Two rescue tube floats, 3 Preston infant CPR mannequins, we already have Preston mannequins, so just will add to our CPR mannequins.
Is this stuff that's been used already? What's the?
No,
Just a
that's not-
tattoo shop and lifestyle, I'm just not seeing the.
He used to own an outdoors, like an adventure type store.
Oh, okay.
That he has since closed, and then, he had these items that he was gonna donate to someone, and
Gotcha,
then I
okay.
happened to actually come in the other day for something, and they said, hey, fire chief, I have something that we would love to donate to you, so
Nice.
it's a Kemp EMS bag, it's all brand new products, it's still in the packages, price tags on my ears, so. We should be able to use everything that he gave us.
Great.
Ask for permission to accept it and send a letter for thanking him for the.
Make a motion to accept a donation of items as listed in the agenda from Almost Famous Tattoo to the fire department.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Yes.
All in favor?
Very much.
Thank you. 2617, consideration of any appropriate action. Sorry.
On the appointment of a unexpired term on the SAD 75 school board.
We're good to go now.
It's voice, it's water.
Yeah, it's what it is, because it's wrong. All right, do you want to talk about that? Oh, thanks.
No, don't worry. First day in hand,
Yeah,
thing tonight.
so you want to cover that? Oh, my son, great.
We don't have in front of me or anything, though.
You want to talk about, this is.
Oh, wow.
Appoint person and, discuss green fee.
Yeah, that's fine.
Catherine, last name, Spring, we did interviews tonight and, I want to propose the nomination of Catherine Brilliant to fill this position and the interim secretary to do it.
A second?
I'll second.
All right, moved in second, all in favor? Thank you. To oppose?
I just abstain.
Abstain. Did you get that, Patty?
No, I didn't get the final number.
Okay, it's 4 in favor, 1 abstention.
And who was that?
That was Ryan.
Thank you.
All right. All right, 2618, consideration of any appropriate action to authorize the town manager to accept the proposal from Sebago, excuse me. I swear it's wrong. For Sebago Technics in the amount of $14,500 for the final design of a nature-based solution for 3 areas abutting Pleasant Point Road.
So we paid Sebago Technics a couple years ago now to look at Pleasant Point Road, the areas that affected by higher tides, storms, et cetera. And different parts of the road needed different types of solutions. There were a couple areas that were in an emergency state, and those Barton Construction shored up a little over a year ago now. So that part's been done. There's 3 sections on the road that what was recommended, what's called a nature-based solution. It's plantings of things that hopefully will make the shoreline stay in place, so it won't get to the point that you have to do the hardscape type things. Yeah, the roots would grab things, although we're not planting, we wouldn't be planting, not be, it would be native plants that aren't invasive. But in order to go ahead and plant any of it, we need a final design plan. They did a preliminary one. I noticed that the state is coming out with a grant process that you can apply from funds to help do mitigation for things like this. It'll be come up at the end of March. But to give us a chance to apply for the grant, you kind of need to know what you need to apply or how much, et cetera. So I contacted Sebago Technics to say, what would it take for these 3 areas to do the next step of giving us, and the reason why I focused on the nature-based areas is that this grant proposal explicitly said they prefer things that are nature-based. So this should be a chance to hopefully leverage some town money and get other money to go with it. So I'd like to spend 14.5 now to have the final plan done for these 3 areas so that we can apply for the grant to try to get some funds to do the actual work.
What is the overall acreage of these pieces of land?
the sections, I'm not sure, you know, it's not really that wide, so to speak. It's more, you're near where the high water mark is, and then you go out a certain amount, and some maybe a little below, above the high water mark. But it's like mud flats that we're planting things in, so the mud flats stay there and the road doesn't get
So
undermined.
it's for erosion purposes,
Exactly.
basically?
Yeah. Their hope is that if you can keep the mud flats and some of the nature stuff that's already there, then it won't get to the point that we have to put rock in and stuff.
Okay.
So, last year, you may recall at the town meeting that we had $800,000 that we said could be used for a number of projects, depending on how things presented. And the select board could allocate the money as need be. This is where I proposed that 14,500 come from, is some of that $800,000. So that's what we like.
And that's only one part of the project, it's still more widening to do with the road and the curve that.
So there's a couple more parts of the road that they think it wouldn't be purely nature-based, it would need some rock and things. But they aren't emergent in nature. And then the most expensive part of the project would be the area where it floods at the curve. They think that'd be about 2 million to build up the road about 11 feet. So that is a piece we have not done a final design for, so.
But this starts the problem.
This is another piece. Kind of, our thought is if we can find some public money to help leverage our stuff, we pick those projects off first. And this is an opportunity perhaps that we can get some state money to help, so that's what we wanted to work on.
So what's the name of the account this is coming out of?
I don't think you have to say that much.
Okay.
It'll come out of the capital projects account approved at the last town meeting.
Okay. Any questions? All right, take a motion.
I would make a motion to authorize the town manager to accept the proposal from Sebago Technics in the amount of $14,500 for final design of a nature-based solution for 3 areas abutting Pleasant Point Road.
Great. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Thank you. All right, 2619, executive session. Move to enter into executive session pursuant to Title I MRSA Section 4056C to discuss the lease of real property.
So moved.
And second,
Mr. Thank you.
we're in executive session.
You said